Last month, I was invited to the Games Academy for their annual expo down in Falmouth, and I was lucky enough to play every single third year game that they had on show. I was invited as a VIP industry guest, and normally this is for people who work in the industry, you can imagine like studio leads and stuff. But as I'm an alumni of Falmouth University, I think it's more of a nice thing. There are a lot of other alumni people there as well who work in the industry. I feel like I'm very unique in the way that I am a solo developer most of the time, and I do a lot of contract work as well, but most of the people who go there and that the students expect and want there are people who can hire them. At the end of the day, they held an award ceremony, and I got these drinks tokens and food vouchers so that I was fed and watered throughout the day. And we got to watch the expo ceremony from the Stannery Bar and got to watch it on the screens, which was a lovely end to the day. But I actually got there a day early because I've been there before and there are just so many games, it's impossible to play every single one. And this year, because I was an industry guest, we got to vote on the best game and give them a specific award. So how it works, right, is there are 3 rooms, and these rooms are like dance studios or theater rooms, right? Like they're huge, big open spaces. And then the third year gets an entire room of this, and they have set up like cubicles where you can play every single game. And I think there were 26 games on show in third year alone. And each of them had set up a little booth, like you would imagine at an expo or a game show or something, where you can sit down and play these games. And there are a lot of people there, so it can be a real struggle to get onto a game you want to play. So obviously I did the nice thing and I played every single person's game I could in the first day, and then managed to finish off the last ones on the second day ahead of the vote in the afternoon. And like I said, I've been to it a few years in the past, and I had my own version of this. The plan was for it to be like this one in person, but I graduated during COVID, so I didn't get this like they get it nowadays. Instead, we had like a digital version. But what happens is you turn up to the expo, and the room that had all the first year games, the second year games, the foundation games, and the masters games also had a booth where you pick up a booklet that has places for stamps to stamp a stamp from every single game. Like every page of this booklet was dedicated to a different game. So you could flick through and see which ones you hadn't done yet, and then get a stamp to prove you had. And then once you'd got loads and loads of stamps, you could go back to the table where you got it and get a goodie bag with some cool stuff in it. Then the next tier of stamps was like a little potted plant, and then the final tier was like a hat or something. So the best stuff was on the lowest tier. And I do think it technically would have been possible to play every single person's game if you were lucky and you were there the whole time for 3 days. But it is almost impossible, and I would not expect every single person to do it. I would even surprise... I wouldn't even say that you could play every single third year game in one day, It's kind of a shame. Like, it needs to be almost like a week long so that everybody could really enjoy it. But I don't think that would make sense for them. But luckily enough, most of the games are on itch.io. There's like a Games Academy Expo submission thing that they all... No, I think not all. I think most of them are part of. I was looking for a few and I couldn't find them, unfortunately. But I think every single third year game is in a third year submission page. And I think there are even more in the third year one that weren't shown at the expo. So I'm going to now talk you through my favorite games that I played, and then talk about the industry winner, and point you guys towards playing some of these cool games. So let's have a look. So here we are, as you can see, Games Academy Expo 2026, and then we have the Falmouth Games Academy third year jam. As you can see at the top right here, 33 entries into the third year jam. I played 26 of them. I think I heard that some of them weren't, like they didn't want to be part of the expo for any reason, and so they weren't. Like you can imagine. Actually, this one's a robotics one, I believe. But there are some I don't recognize. And this one down here, the esports live streaming project. Yeah, these are actually the third year robotics thing, I think. And they have a live streaming course is what I was trying to get to there. But then there's one here, joint custody. I don't remember seeing that one. It looks like it might be quite fun. Maybe the people who in the team maybe weren't able to make it, whatever reason, who knows. But let's have a look at some of my favorite games from this. And the first one that I want to talk about is this one. And I don't think this was a third year game. This is a weird place in the area that I couldn't quite place. I imagine it's a second year game because it's extremely high quality. I'd almost imagine this would be a third year game because it was so good. Like, it had a interesting, the first level, the tutorial aspect of it, like, it didn't tell you it was a tutorial. It just felt well designed. Let's have a quick look at the video. You might see what I mean. You move these pieces around in order to move your character around, and you can't just move them, collect a flag, and then move it again to then go back and complete the goal. You have to connect every single piece and have the character walk around before the goal is complete. It's kind of really smart, and like as you draw, or as you pick up and put down these things, it draws them basically. It's hard to explain, but it's really smart, really good level design. And the artwork, as you might know and love from me, is that I love the retro pixel style. And they just did it really well. I congratulate these guys. And nobody really talked about this one while I was there, so I wanted to put some love to it. But yeah, Tabula. I think it's also can be wishlist on Steam, so definitely check that one out if that's up your alley. And then the second one I want to talk about was my favorite, and again, this one hits the retro vibes so perfectly. As it says, it's a first-person single-player old-school thriller game, and it's set in these Polish mines. And I got a quick rundown from the people making it that somebody had gone on, like they're from Poland, and they'd gone to these mines, and it's a real place, and they had basically picked up this feeling from this place or this story and realized that there's a game in there, right? And so, for example, on some of the walls, it's literally written in Polish as if it's actually there, you know? It's like half English, half in Polish. It is a creepy game. I don't think you can necessarily die in it. It's just vibes based. But there was a really strong puzzle at the end that I could see other people struggling with, but I really enjoyed. So I still think that it was worth playing. They said they originally wanted to make it in the Doom engine, and then for some reason they were like, okay, we should actually make it in Unity. Oh, I know why. Because to make it in the Doom engine, you have to strip the Doom back to nothing and then build it back up. Well, if you just start in Unity, then you don't have to do all that. But yeah, the shaders, the artwork, beautiful stuff. Yeah, I think it was voiced as well. Like, there's no reason not to enjoy it. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I think this was actually my favorite one, except for the one that I voted in the industry vote, which I will get to later. But the next one I want to talk about is this, Atelier's Key. And it's a first-person shooter single-player game. It's got like a steampunk clockwork kind of vibe. And the gameplay was a bit inspired by like a Halo game or something. It was pretty cool. This one was probably the best looking game in terms of like modern graphics. I might test it on my new PC and see how it runs. The artists are basically professionals. I hope they all get jobs from this because it honestly does look incredible. I thought that maybe the enemy designs were a bit too thin. You see this one, there's a sniper standing there. And meant from distance, it's both hard to spot and hard to hit. And then that kind of goes against the fun, in my opinion. But that's obviously my design brain speaking to me, and might not even matter, you know. It's just the only critique I could think of while playing this game. It was pretty good indeed. And then this was the runner-up. This one, the Atelier's Key was the runner-up in the industry vote, but undoubtedly, I think there was like 32 people in the room, and 15 people voted for Buggin Out. And I don't know how they did this. When I was at university studying this same course, they kind of implied that we shouldn't do stuff like this, or it would, we'd get swamped down and it'd take too long, blah, blah, blah. But these guys, they seem to know exactly what they were doing. If that's true or not, it came across that way. Let's see if we can watch the trailer of this one. So it's got a very simple, low poly art style where everything seems to be alive and animated and colorful. You are a rabbit and you get around by either running like this or you can tunnel, right? You press Q and you jump under the ground, you move faster. And the whole idea is like Animal Crossing where you bug catch. You got a little net and you're slamming it down on things and then you're like wrestling with it to try and catch it. And then you use the bugs like you do in Pokemon to do these mini games. Like here's racing. There's also like a dice game. I can't remember any other ones. But yeah, here's one. Looks like rock, paper, scissors or something. And then you get money and you upgrade your net so you can get better bugs and you can customize your character. There's achievements already. I wishlisted this one on Steam because I cannot wait to play it. So I hope you guys like the look of it too and check it out. Unfortunately, I think this they're smart, right? They had to upload this to itch for their course, I think. And so they've changed it and password protected it, I think. Something, I don't know. I want to download it and see if I can get into it because I really want to play it. It's multiplayer, if I didn't already say. You can play it with your friends. At the booth that they had at the expo, there were 4 computers and all of them were connected to the same world. So you could play the mini games with everybody else there. So cool, so good. So that, in my opinion, was the best one in the expo. And obviously they were my favorite other ones as well. But I also want to talk about this one here, which is called Incursion. I thought this was the most ambitious design-wise. I thought the visuals looked a bit too much like Fortnite. It was probably made in Unreal. The characters look very Fortnite-y. The beginning of the game, unfortunately, was very like weird and slow. Like you're in this out world, and like I didn't quite grasp what they were trying to tell me in the world, you know. But it was still good. It felt like a game in beta or something, which is completely fine for the I think they only had like 7 months to make it from start to finish. And what the game actually is a roguelike where you go into this portal here with a gun, you defeat loads of enemies, you collect the items they drop, and then come out, upgrade your weapons, and go back in. And I got all the way to the final boss, and then they give you like a score of like how quick you were, right? And in the expo booth, they had like a scoreboard of who had done it faster. Now the thing is, the more you play, the better stuff you get, the faster you can do it. So it encourages you to keep playing, which is quite smart. Let's look at their trailer. Yeah, this is the overworld bit, and then this is the portal you go into. You might be able to see it looks very Unreal Engine-esque. But yeah, there was like a grapple mechanic, I think, where you could like jump forward. There was a melee, but the melee wasn't animated. There was a weird, but look, aiming down the sights though, yeah, it felt great. It did feel good. I would say that I think this year, apparently, they might have done it for a few years at the Games Academy, where they have not very many animators. So then they have like an animators guild or something, which each team basically temporarily hire out the animators to do the animation. So it creates a weird dynamic where some teams don't have as much animation implemented as others. While in my year, I don't think I had an animator on my team. So we just made robots and animation and did our animation in engine, which probably made for a very lifeless game in comparison to these set of games, even though I do think there isn't enough animation. Still really good. The gameplay loop was great. It made me want to keep going. I liked collecting the rewards. And the boss fight at the end was a bit of a breeze, but I'd already got some good weaponry, and I think it might have taken me a couple tries. I can't remember. But I was very close to losing. I do remember that. But yeah, great game. And obviously every single game here is great in its own way, even if it doesn't play very well. There's normally either it looks really good or the design idea, there's something in it, you know. Like Smash Hammer here, that although the pictures don't do it justice here. The final actual, yeah, what's this? Smash Hammer Game Jam Edition. Okay, maybe it was made for a game jam. The actual final version of this was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. I got pretty far, and the further I went, the less effort it felt like had been put into each level design. But the first half of the game, beautiful, played really well, and even till the end, the like the attack, smash, jump combo mechanic was awesome. Yeah, trigger shot was great. There's like an endless mode. Really love that. You feel really powerful. But let's go on to the next one. Who's steering this thing? I really like this one. This just felt like Overcooked in space, where instead of cooking, you're like keeping the ship on track and not trying to hit asteroids, and you're making deliveries. And you can throw stuff back and forth to each other, but you have to catch it. And you can cause chaos by like dropping stuff on the ground, which then you have to clean up. And it gets in the way of other things. It's chaos. It's fun. It looks beautiful. Like the artwork of it is great. It's very simple. Somebody I was playing with said something like it was really complicated, and they didn't get it. But I got it so quickly. I guess everybody's different, right? But yeah, if you get this game and you like understand it, I think it's really good. Watching this video, it looks like an older version where things are a bit more janky, and maybe, I guess, recording what you want to record is hard to do sometimes. But yeah, some things look a bit janky here, but it didn't feel janky at all while playing it, and I imagine this is an older build. But yeah, this one was great. And the last one I want to talk about is Black Lotus. I thought that the gameplay of this was okay, but for some reason it really hit me. Like, I really liked this game. The artwork was incredibly beautiful. This page doesn't really give it much justice. Let's have a look. I mean, that looks fine. The water in the background, like animated, was cool. Let's see what their trailer looks like. Yeah, so it's a fighting samurai game where if you parry somebody's attack or like dodge them enough, you get to learn their attack, which is a cool idea for a mechanic in a game. And then you use their attacks to defeat the other people. And there was a point in the beginning where it starts and it's black and white, and I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be a black and white samurai game. That's so cool. And then it faded into color, and I was like, that's fair enough. And then in the combat, when I first started the combat, it was in slow motion. And I was like, a slow motion samurai game. That's really smart. And then once they taught me the very basics of it, it went to normal motion. And I was like, okay, that's fair enough too. But a black and white slow motion samurai game where, you actually have to dodge each thing would be a cool idea. But yeah, the artwork, it's a shame this video is so laggy. I imagine that they didn't know what they were doing when they were recording it. Because it ran pretty well, if I remember correctly. And there are some scenes of this that are running well. But yeah, the artwork was great. A shame the trailer wasn't up to scratch, in my opinion. But I think if they were to re-record it, it would be even better now. And like I said, I don't think that these pages are quite up to date. Like that Smash Hammer one was clearly nowhere near where the actual game was when I played it. But yeah, please go and check out the games from the Falmouth Games Academy Expo 2026 if you're interested. This one, Happy Hour, was great as well. There's so many great ones, guys. You should just definitely check them out. I imagine most of them are going to be free here on itch for you to try out. And the best ones are going on to Steam for you to wishlist. So if you're in the market for playing Buggin Out, we should definitely play that when it comes out. I think it's a really good one for playing with friends. It's a cozy one. So yeah. Actually, there's another bug one here as well called Bugborn. I thought that might have been a Masters game. It was in a different room. But again, it was really fun. It was a fun one. It reminded me of Mugenics, the gameplay of Mugenics, where you're like, you see here, it's like tile-based, turn-based. You got like these cards that, are your actions and moves. Kind of a slow game. I was waiting around quite a lot for things to move. You kind of speed it up slightly. But yeah, it was still a great game. That's really all I have to say about the Games Academy Expo 2026. I want to thank them for inviting me. It was lovely to be a guest, and I'm glad I could provide a vote for for Buggin Out. If you guys live in the UK, I think every year they do this, and I think it's open to the public. So I think you could technically come down and check it out as well. Or if you wanted to study there, they have undergraduate courses, foundation courses, and master's courses. I'm not paid to advertise this to you guys, but I obviously did the course myself. And I thought I learned quite a lot because we are put into teams, and teams are how the industry works. So I think that was the most valuable kind of work experience I got from it. I actually studied 3D art, and I was trying to get into making cars in the industry, making like 3D car art for Codemasters or Rockstar, who knows what I wanted. But I ended up as a pixel artist in the indie sphere. So you can go anywhere with this, guys, and I hope it inspires you to get your games into an expo if you haven't already. So thanks for watching. I'll put my patrons up on the screen right now. Thank you so much to you guys. You guys are the absolute best. Remember to like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you thought of this video. If you've played any of these games here. Let me know if you've wishlisted any of these without even knowing they were from the Games Academy. That would be a cool coincidence, wouldn't it? But yeah, let me know what you want to see in the next video, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.